With this video, we will be doing P. Diddy allegations are now being heard by grand jury. And if you want to help this channel and the content that we making, please help put our merchandise. The link is in the description. If you didn't hit the like button, make sure you hit the like button. Try and get the channel to grow. And the only way we're going to do this if you like, share, and comment on the content. So without further ado, let's get into the video. Let's go. Chi, get the yayo.
Get the yayo.
Yeah, there's no doubt in my mind that Sean Combs knows that this is coming.
Things could be heating up for Sean Diddy Combs as CNN reports the
out.
feds are moving toward charging the rap mogul.
We are now hearing that federal investigators are preparing to possibly bring witnesses in front of a federal grand jury in New York City.
The report is the first we're hearing about movement in the case since the raids by federal agents back in March.
Facts.
Thanks for joining me for Crime Fix. I'm Anjanette Levy.
Yeah, it's happening real
Things have
fast.
been relatively quiet, at least
Actually, people say it
publicly,
was
as far
actually
as the
happening
feds
slow.
are concerned, with Sean Combs since
had
the
a lot of
raids on his
information
homes
together.
in California and Florida back on March 25th. The silence,
Apparently.
which isn't unusual when it comes to the federal government, had a lot of people wondering, did they actually find anything during these raids? Is the
Find out.
investigation essentially?
We found out they did. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? It's leaking out. You hear reports of the stuff that's coming out, and the stuff they found on the tapes. They now reaching out to those people to get them to come speak, which is crazy.
Then, because they had to like look through everything, and then they had to create a timeline based on what they have.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? To make it all make sense.
Yeah. And we were talking yesterday. I'm like, why did you keep that stuff? Like, what would?
Yeah, I still to this day. Like, I think the first time we seen the video, I said something. I was like, it almost reminded you of like something a serial killer would do. How
Yeah.
they have like
Keep they
trophies,
tropes. Yeah.
like, you know what I'm saying, from each event. Like,
Yeah.
it doesn't make any sense. I'm not saying he's no serial killer, but I'm saying why would you think like
That's
that?
the only thing that makes
It's
sense.
the only thing, only
These are
people
your
that do things like that. It's
trophies.
real life. It's trophies.
It's crazy.
Why would you not get rid of that?
It's crazy.
Dead.
And he
Now
spent the
CNN
bag.
says the
And he spent the bag. You know?
Yeah.
He spent the bag. He actually had what he needed. You just get rid of it.
Yeah, I'm talking about other stuff. There's more tapes that's coming out. And stuff that
Yeah,
they
but
found.
even none of that.
I'm talking about all of it should have been got rid of.
That's what I'm saying. None
It's
of
crazy.
that.
Just put a lighter to it.
Let it go.
feds are preparing to call witnesses to testify in front of a grand jury. But correspondent Elizabeth Wagmeister qualified it just a little bit.
What we have heard is that possible witnesses have been notified that they could be called to testify. Now, sources do caution that investigators are still in the process of gathering information. In
Right.
fact, they are still calling in new witnesses, and they have called in some
witnesses.
witnesses multiple times.
So there's a lot of clarification there, as I
We're
mentioned.
gonna make contact.
We're gonna
Witnesses
cross
have been
every
told
T
they
and dot
could
every
be called
I.
to
Straight up.
testify. But investigators are still gathering information, so the sources have kind of cautioned them not to get ahead of themselves. So it sounds
crazy.
like there's still some legwork to be done
Right.
as
Circus
far as the
out there.
investigation goes. Litigator Robin Nunn has been following Diddy's
Bad
case
boy for
closely
life.
and had taken notice of the silence from the government until this report from CNN.
Yeah.
I was shocked
Damn.
by this revelation. Today, I understood that the federal investigation had obviously taken place, but it's been a bit quiet as
Yeah.
far as plans for next steps.
Yeah.
And this, most recent report seems to indicate that there are witnesses who
Wow.
are testifying, and that there's been information that's been found, perhaps on the premises, that is furthering the government and law enforcement's efforts to figure out what's happened and implicate potentially Sean Combs.
This is a law and crime legal alert. Google Incognito Answers is through their stop by, who's represented rappers like Kodak Black. He's also represented Drake and many others.
Drake.
So the report confirmed what I was saying for the past 3 weeks, is that I think that a grand jury was meeting. I think that the grand jury is considering a vast
Branford
amount
Cohen.
of information
Former
and
federal
charges
You know,
that are going to be surrounding Sean
I've heard
Combs.
the last name
I think
Cohen.
that it's going to be vast and encompassing years of different kinds of criminal activity. And I think there's going to be a lot of either co-defendants or unindicted co-defendants, depending on who they give immunity to and who's going to be a cooperating witness.
Now, you might recall that Bradford
Jacket
Cohen actually
fire.
predicted here on Crime Fix last week that an indictment would be coming in the next 3 to 4 weeks.
Dang.
Cohen's not only represented a lot of famous people who've been in trouble, he's also a former federal prosecutor.
Okay,
So what does
so you
he
know the
think
ins
about
and outs.
CNN using words like potentially and saying witnesses could testify?
I think that they are always trying to be cautious when it comes to indictments, especially indictments on such serious kind of accusations. They certainly don't want to have lawsuits on their hands for saying things that might not turn out to be true, even though they might have a source that might be telling them one thing. Usually it takes more than one source to tell them something that they can confirm it through another source or through another way. And if they're having an individual telling them something just to make sure until they know for sure, they always encompass the language, oh, it could be, it might be. Those things always happen on these type of cases.
Now, while the feds...
That doesn't make sense until there is actually set in stone and proof. That's why people use the word allegedly. I'm just to avoid, like he said, the lawsuits that come out that this is not true. But we know when the feds come, they're going to dot their I's and cross their T's. They're not in a rush. They're going to make sure they got everything lined up properly before they take the next step. They're not going to come in there halfway stepping. No, we're going to make sure everything is everything. That's why they said we call multiple witnesses multiple times to make sure every I is dotted and every T is crossed.
Yeah, that's why I said this guy's really good at what he does because he tried to talk in such a human nature. Like, you know what I mean? He didn't even try to use anything close to the word allegedly or like any type of legal terms whatsoever. He's just like, you know,
maybe some possibility.
He tried to keep it as simple as possible because that's what he's looking for. He's looking for a simple bit of humanistic look at this man. Like, he's not a monster. That's what he wants to create now. Because from what we all seen, like a lot of people have already taken judgment and passed judgment, and with all this other stuff that's going on, it's just kind of rolling out more information that's just creating a bigger. You know what I'm saying? But he's doing his job.
Definitely.
Have been quiet. Things in Sean Combs' world have been anything but. At least.
It's been anything but quiet. It's been anything but quiet
over the last 2 weeks. So let's go back. First, on Friday, May 17th, CNN aired that surveillance video from 2016.
You can't erase that from
anybody's
assaulting
Cassie Ventura.
That's what I was saying just a second ago. You can't erase that from anybody's lexicon and memory. Like it happened. We've seen that.
We've seen it. Now you can never unsee it.
Yeah, that's why he tried to talk in such a way. Like he's a human being. Like because everybody's mind eventually, as soon as it's brought up, back to this.
It goes back to that. Yeah, facts.
In the hallway of a hotel. It was absolutely shocking and confirmed some of the allegations that Ventura had made in her lawsuit that was filed last November. Cassie had claimed that Combs subjected her to years of sexual and physical abuse and that he forced her to have sex with other people for his own pleasure. That suit was settled the next day with Combs saying he wished Cassie love. Combs' attorney basically denied the allegations on his behalf. But that video doesn't lie, and it told a much different story than Combs' denial. 2 days later, after the video aired around the world, Combs posted a video on Instagram that drew some backlash.
That's a fact.
Take a look.
It's so difficult to reflect on the darkest times in your life. Sometimes you got to do that. I was f***ed up. I mean, I hit rock bottom.
Banks one after this, like,
but I make no excuses. My behavior on that video is inexcusable. I take full responsibility for my actions in that video. I'm disgusted. I was disgusted then when I did it. I'm disgusted now. I went and I sought out professional help. I had to go into therapy. Going to rehab.
It's in a dark place, man.
Had to ask God for his mercy and grace.
Life is life, and you know.
I'm so sorry. But I'm committed to be a better man each and every day.
We all are.
I'm not asking for forgiveness. I'm truly sorry.
Now Now, you may have noticed that...
And a lot of people said in there that he should at least said Cassie name. Like, in the whole apology, he never said Cassie name not once. Would have been nice at the end of it. I'm sorry, Cassie.
Right, and that's the part where it's like, damn, you put that out there. Yeah. You think that would be the first thing you would do is address the person.
Yeah.
Because now it just looks like you just addressed the public.
Yeah, facts.
Combs didn't mention Cassie's name.
Oh, she said it right now. Said it.
TMZ reported that was because of the settlement
about
for the lawsuit. Combs and Ventura agreed not to say one another's names.
That chain is crazy.
The video and the attempt at an apology appeared to fall flat. Here's what Bradford Cohen said about it.
Fell flat.
I think in their minds, they thought they were going to make it better. I don't think that was the move. I think if he did anything, he probably should have kept his mouth shut and maybe entered into a rehab facility or said that he's seeking some sort of psychological help. I just don't think this was the right move, is to make a statement. The better move in any of these circumstances, and if it's warranted, is to get help for whatever trauma that individual has experienced to make them into the individual that's on the videotape. And if that includes substance abuse or some sort of mental instability, that's what you get help for. You don't start coming out and saying all these statements and saying, you know, this is what happened and this is how it happened. I was in a dark place. It's not going to help you. Ultimately, this apology did not help him. And most people kind of brushed it off, and it wasn't a good idea.
Absolutely.
In my opinion.
Then days after,
I mean, hindsight is always 20/20. I'm pretty sure when he was with his people, his team, they thought it was a good idea. But the way it came out, even not even saying Cassie name in there, I think that could have added a little something to it.
Yeah, and we definitely spoke on this when it happened. And I'm still sticking to my original statement where I was like, I just don't think it was a good idea.
Yeah,
I see where he tried to get in front of it, but like he should have just.
Yeah, you said the same thing he said.
Yeah,
you did.
And now that's what I'm saying. He's reiterating that point.
Yeah, he should just kept his mouth closed.
Should have kept his mouth closed.
After that, Cassie Ventura posted on Instagram. She wrote, "Thank you for all of the love and support from my family, friends, strangers, and those that I have yet to meet. The outpouring of love has created a place for my younger self to settle and feel safe now. But this is only the beginning. Domestic violence is the issue." She wrote "the" in all caps.
Yeah, it's crazy.
"It broke me down to someone I never thought I would become. With a lot of hard work, I am better today, but I will always be recovering from my past. Wow. My only ask is that everyone open your heart to believing victims the first time. It takes a lot of heart to tell the truth out of a situation that you were powerless in. I offer my hand to those that are still..."
No living being should ever eat processed food for every single meal of their life.
Letter coming from her after this
still living in fear. Reach out to your people. Don't cut them off. No one should carry this weight alone. This healing journey is never ending, but this support means everything to me. Around the same time, Misa Hilton,
That's crazy. In the letter, how she was saying, like, no one could say it louder than her, and she can almost be the face of it now at this point, or believing victims the first time something happened. Because a lot of people was like, you get what I'm saying? Like, by the time you seen the video, then everyone believed everything that she said. But people was on the fence until they seen the video.
Yeah, because you gotta remember, before they seen the video, the last video we seen of Diddy was him saying these lies and this is bullshit and that can't be Diddy coming at my character and like, you know what I'm saying? And then we seen that video and it was like, I don't know what I was thinking. I apologize. You know what I'm saying? So we can't just say that like it came out of nowhere. You know what I mean? Because nobody would have. It seemed like she was just saying something at the moment. You always look, and I've been saying this since day one. You guys got to have something to go off of, but you want to believe her, but you're not giving anybody anything. No text messages, nothing. And it took someone getting the tape. But once it was released, now everybody's like, okay, there you go.
Because for the most part, you want to look at people's situation innocent until proven guilty. We don't want to think everything that's allegedly is true. I mean,
you just be locking every nigga, every brother up. You know what I mean? Real talk. Like somebody just be mad because every woman ain't the perfect angel. You know what I'm saying? In this situation, she is. She is. But you gotta, like, these definitive statements, man. You gotta be careful.
For sure.
Mother of Combs' son, Justin, posted a statement of support for Cassie on Instagram. She wrote, "I am heartbroken that Cassie must relive the horror of her abuse, and my heart goes out to her.
Jacket,
I know exactly how she feels, and through my empathy, it has triggered my own trauma. These young people were raised by women that want the best for them. We put God and education first and have always been united in our mutual effort to support their dreams. 2 of the youngest do not have their mother here, and it has been our duty to support them. Their father needs help, and I am praying that he truly does the personal work and receives it."
Facts.
Then 2 more civil suits were filed. Wow. One by a former model, Crystal McKinney,
That's a girl
who claimed Combs sexually assaulted her in 2003 when she met him during
That's a long time.
21 years.
McKinney
like, bro, that's like me with my card collection. I got cards from before I was born, but you know what I mean? Holding on to something so long, I just put it in a card file, have it saved up. Yeah. She had that joint in the bag with for 21 years.
Air sealed up.
Air sealed, never nothing. Just the way it was.
She knew one day
it was gonna be worse though.
I would need this.
A contestant on an MTV show, and she won.
Oh, MTV.
She claims a designer introduced her to Combs and that he drugged her and forced her to perform oral sex on him.
Wow.
And then she woke up in a cab.
Wow.
Days later, another suit was filed by April Lampros, who claimed Combs sexually assaulted her multiple times between 1995 and the early 2000s.
Wow.
Lampros claimed she met Combs when she was a college student in 1994. She claimed that Combs also forced her and his then-girlfriend, Kim Porter, to take ecstasy and have sex together.
Wow, you keep hearing about that.
These new civil suits followed many others. One filed by a Jane Doe who claimed Combs assaulted her when she was a teenager by flying her from Michigan to New York. Another woman named Joy Dickerson Neal said Combs sexually assaulted her in the 90s. Last December, Combs tweeted, "Enough is
wow, because even when she's saying, X in 94.
Yeah.
You gotta think that didn't really start popping till like a couple years later. Yeah. Even Bone made a track about it. What was that, 98?
Yeah, but you know that
that's what I'm saying.
The rich get stuff
way before. He was living another life.
Yeah,
is what I'm saying.
He's still living another life, even
in the struggle.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Enough. For the last couple of weeks, I have sat silently and watched people try to assassinate my character, destroy my reputation and my legacy. Sickening allegations have been made against me by individuals looking for a quick
payday. The timestamp was crazy. It's like December and
March or something. Any of the awful things being alleged. I will fight for my name, my family, and for the truth. So that was Sean Combs' tweet back in December. Combs has filed motions to dismiss the Dickerson-Neal suit and the suit filed by Jane Doe. Earlier this year, you'll recall that record producer Rodney Little Rod Jones claimed a number of things, including that Combs drugged women and teen girls and forced him to hire sex workers and have sex with them. Wow. In addition to the lawsuits, Combs' alleged drug mule, Brendan Paul, was arrested in Miami as his homes were raided.
You know, he telling everything.
Yeah.
He telling everything.
Paul recently entered a plea agreement where possession of cocaine and marijuana charges will be dropped in exchange for Paul entering a diversion program. Is Paul cooperating with federal investigators?
Now,
allegedly.
We don't know.
Now, from there, it don't sound like he's telling nothing. It sounds like I don't want nothing to do with nothing.
Yeah, he took a plea.
They said, I took a plea, but I'm going to a diversion program because he was just smuggling. He's like, I don't want nothing to do with that. So it don't sound like he's snitching. It just sounds like he want to get free and get going.
Yeah, but if they call on him, who knows?
Yeah, now that's when it get crazy because when you talking about the feds, they can call whoever the hell
I cannot not see him being called.
Oh yeah. And now once that happens, they're gonna be like, well, we gave you your freedom.
We can take it back.
Now we need you we change our minds.
Facts.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll find out later. Now to this week, and CNN reporting that witnesses could soon testify in front of the grand jury. The report says the feds are still interviewing witnesses and gathering information, but Bradford Cohen believes witnesses may have already testified in front of the grand jury.
I think the grand jury has been meeting for weeks. I don't think that this is something that just came up today. Usually when you have probable cause,
I thought it was happening yesterday.
There's already a serious investigation, and there's probably enough for a grand jury to start meeting. And I think they met within the past, 2 weeks. I would given that they would be meeting over the past 2 weeks and looking over evidence that they have obtained and witnesses that have been testifying.
The news about the grand jury, interestingly enough, came from CNN, the same outlet that aired the video of Combs beating up Cassie. So does Bradford Cohen
CNN getting all
the information?
Yeah, no, it's not a coincidence. And like I said before, when we spoke earlier, the fact that CNN is breaking this information, the fact that CNN broke the quote unquote video, it's very obvious to me that there's a line to CNN. That line is
it's like CNN got a rollout.
It's like CNN and the feds
they're like this.
You know what I'm saying? We giving y'all the information. Y'all like the new TMZ on this story.
Yeah, on this story.
Being used to set a certain narrative.
I want to buy your house. I can pay you cash for your house, no matter what condition it's
narrative, and that narrative is essentially what they came out with, that Cassie is a victim. She was powerless in this situation. So when this indictment does come out, which I think it would be coming out towards the end of June. When the indictment does come out and they label Cassie as an unindicted co-conspirator or as a co-conspirator that's cooperating, it will mitigate the type of information that's in that indictment, because I think that she was certainly a participant in a lot of things that went on. But by her saying she was powerless and she was in this relationship, and that could be completely true, I don't know. But that narrative that she was powerless and in this situation that she could do nothing about supports her being a witness that would garner immunity as opposed to a co-defendant.
Cohen has no doubt that Sean Combs and his attorneys know an indictment is coming. It's just a matter of when.
That's what people love about that energy coming from.
And you hear what he said, right?
Yeah, what did he say?
By her being like, I'm powerless, she's a victim.
Yeah.
If she was like, yeah, we was having a good time.
Yeah, Bonnie and Clyde.
Yeah, now she's a co-defendant.
Yeah, Whitney and Bobby.
Yeah, so you see what he's facing, because she would have been there for all of that.
Yeah, she would have hit her with charges.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So she played the best move on the chessboard as well. We seen that, and it wasn't fake what happened.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's a lot of time spent, a lot of decision makings to be made.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But it is what it is at this point. And shit, if it was my daughter and she was in that situation, I'd be like, you better move that bishop.
Yeah.
On that chessboard.
And we were talking yesterday, because I seen a Fred P interview on the Art of Dialogue, and he was with Making a Band, so he was around Diddy, and he said Diddy threatened him plenty of times. Yeah. But he was saying like Cassie is allegedly working with the feds because Diddy's a dangerous man, and he's not gonna just give her money and let her and her husband just walk away freely. If he beat this case, there's a good time that she's gonna pop back on his mind. You feel what I'm saying? He's gonna use every resource possibly to make her uncomfortable. So it makes sense that she could be working with him, because she knows this case is not one. She could be uncomfortable.
Yeah. For a minute, uncomfortable. So she got to think ahead.
Yeah, facts.
Because she lived that reality.
Yeah, facts.
He hasn't left the state of Florida. I don't think he's going to leave the state of Florida. I think they've already spoken to his attorney, and this is just my guess, but I think they've already spoken to his attorney and indicated that if he leaves the state of Florida, that they will file a complaint, and that complaint will then pick him up and he'll be arrested based on the complaint, as opposed to waiting for the indictment and then allowing him to come in and bond out and
it's crazy.
Still be free.
Stay
and I think that's the agreement that was made. So I think he's waiting on the grand jury coming back and what charges the grand jury are going to come back with.
Wow.
I find it would be very hard to believe that he doesn't expect that the grand jury is going to be indicting, and his lawyer doesn't know that the grand jury is going to be indicting, not based on what I've seen and his actions since the raid.
Right. Remember the raid and the big show of force from the feds back in March? There were armored vehicles,
all
guys with
tanks,
guns, all kinds
SWAT,
of things like that. Well, I've spoken to a few
Avengers,
people who don't believe you'll see that
everybody.
if Sean Combs is indeed
at
indicted.
All.
Many people believe his attorneys would arrange for him to turn himself into.
I hate to say it like this, but you remember Bad Boys? Mm-hmm. When they was, I want to say they was in Cuba.
Yeah.
That's what they was running into, a mansion, bro. Like, it's too many rooms, it's too many levels, it's too many caverns. Apparently, there's too many tunnels.
Yeah.
Same situation, you know. That's what they was running into.
I've seen a lot of mansions get ran into. Not like that.
Yeah, they didn't know what they was expecting. It was like he might have a team of armed guards in there.
The authorities.
My guess would be is the reason why he's agreeing to not go anywhere, to not fly anywhere, not leave the state of Florida and stay within his home. I believe that is part of the agreement. Is that
like
when
I like good
does
food.
Come down,
I don't have a choice. No, they gotta arrest me if I leave. So
yeah,
I don't have a choice but to stay here.
Shows no reason not to. You know, if an individual is flying around the country or leaving the country and coming back, or different things of that nature, withdrawing a huge sum of money, things that would give the government pause to, you know, do some sort of great raid on their home and things of that. They've already done the raid, right? They've already gotten the press on the raid that they did. I don't think it's necessary to use that kind of manpower to make an arrest after the fact. And I think that's why they showed such great manpower on the original
That's what it looked like. Like you said,
the feds
Bab
like
was
a
Cuba.
That's
what it looks like.
Profile individuals getting arrested.
Crazy.
They either do one of two things. Either they raid their home with massive amounts of people and guns and, you know, 25 different agents, or when they make the actual arrest, they arrest that individual with SWAT, helicopters
for anything.
So I think this one, they're going to allow him to surrender himself.
So now it's really a waiting game. Are witnesses testifying in front of the grand jury right now, or will it take some time? No matter what's happening behind closed doors, the belief is that the feds are building a case that will be big, and they will want it to be as tight as it can be.
Dot them I's, cross them T's.
That's it for this episode of Crime Fix. I'm Anjanette Levy. Thanks so much for joining me. I'll see you back.
This is Lamar Wilson here, representing Ghetto Action News Network _ all lower cases,
no spaces.
You'll find us on Facebook, and when you do, make sure you leave some comments, share something, scroll the page, enjoy, and come back. All right, we're gonna get right into this.
Let's get it.
Checking out Crime Fix. P. Diddy allegations coming to the forefront with this indictment looming. It's a lot, man. It's a lot to process. But apparently they've gathered a lot of information, and they're just trying to get their ducks in order. From what we're seeing here, it's set up so he can't really lead the state of Florida.
I didn't know that.
What I'm saying? I did not know that. I knew he was enjoying his time while he was there. He's keeping to himself for the most part. You haven't really seen him in the media like that here and there, but I didn't know he couldn't leave. So things are on the move with this. I guess we'll be hearing something soon. What you think about this?
I think like you think definitely gonna be hearing something soon. They said in the next 3 to 4 weeks, and that sound about right. They doing everything they gotta do. Like I said, they dotting their I's, they crossing his T's. I didn't know they told him he couldn't leave the state. That's crazy. Pretty much got him in the jail with no bars, what it seemed like. And I think just a crazy situation. Gonna keep my eye on that and see what happened as it go farther. But until then, it's your boy Trey TV, and I'm out.